Intergroup relations in modern democratic societies have deteriorated over the last half-century, and psychologists have been studying this phenomenon for decades. Although many psychologists have studied the cognitive and motivational differences between ideological groups, these studies often fail to recognize how those on opposite ends of the political spectrum can often appear more similar than they do differently. A more fruitful path to understanding our current predicament may be to examine the extent to which people are invested in their ideology and how this affects polarization. A shared sense of righteousness. Collective narcissism is a social psychological phenomenon that refers to a group's or collective's narcissistic tendencies. It is defined by the group's belief in its own superiority and special status, as well as its need for other people's admiration and attention. Individual narcissism, on the other hand, refers to a personality trait characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance and a need for admiration from others. Those with high collective narcissism frequently focus on the differences observed between in-group and out-group members, with a tendency to see threats from outgroups more acutely. Individual narcissism is a personality trait unique to an individual, whereas collective narcissism is a trait shared by members of a group or collective. It is frequently observed in highly cohesive groups where members have a strong sense of belonging and identification with the group. Nationalist or ethnic groups, religious groups, or political organizations are examples of these groups, but ostensibly less important group identities, sports teams, may also succumb to narcissistic beliefs. Collective narcissism can also be observed in groups defined by a common ideology or belief system, such as social movements or activist organizations. It is here that we see links to modern social movements, particularly in the United States, where political partisans supporting either Democrats or Republicans focus more on maligning the other side than presenting a positive vision of how their ideology could improve American society, and the United Kingdom, where debates and disagreements about Brexit continue to divide the population. The consequences of collective narcissism. Collective narcissism is frequently fueled by group leaders or influential members who foster a sense of grandiosity and entitlement among group members. These leaders may employ a variety of tactics to reinforce the group's narcissistic beliefs, including manipulating group members' emotions, manipulating information to support the group's beliefs, and encouraging group members to perceive outsiders as a threat. External factors, such as social media and the media in general, can also fuel collective narcissism. Social media platforms can create echo chambers that amplify a specific group's views and beliefs, leading to a distorted sense of reality and the reinforcement of narcissistic beliefs. The media can also contribute to collective narcissism by promoting specific groups or ideologies, as well as portraying specific groups as superior or entitled to preferential treatment. Ways to overcome collective narcissism. Collective narcissism can have both positive and negative effects on group members as well as society as a whole. On the plus side, it can promote group cohesion and solidarity, as well as provide members with a sense of pride and purpose. It can, however, result in negative outcomes such as aggression toward outsiders or other groups, as well as a tendency to view other groups as inferior or threatening. This can contribute to intergroup conflict, prejudice, and discrimination, as well as societal divides and polarization. Given these negative consequences, it is critical for individuals and groups to identify and challenge their own narcissistic tendencies, as well as strive for a more inclusive and respectful society. There are several ways to accomplish this. 1. Encourage open and respectful dialogue. Encourage people to have respectful and open-minded discussions with people who hold opposing political views. This can promote understanding and empathy, leading to more productive conversations. 2. Focus on common ground. Rather than emphasizing differences or attempting to win arguments, try to identify and emphasize areas of agreement or common ground. 3. Encourage empathy. Encourage people to try to understand and appreciate the experiences, perspectives, and concerns of people who hold opposing political views. 4. Encourage a sense of community. Work to foster a sense of community and shared purpose, with an emphasis on the common good. 5. Promote critical thinking. Encourage people to evaluate information and sources critically rather than accepting or rejecting ideas based on preconceived notions. We can work toward a more inclusive and respectful society by implementing these strategies, reducing our collectively narcissistic impulses, and healing some of the divides caused by political polarization.